Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to this lecture. Previously, we have seen how to calculate poles and zeros for a complex transfer function also, how to locate that complex poles and zeros on a given S-plane, that also we have seen. What do you mean by real axis, what do you mean by imaginary axis. So these things we have covered. Now let us move towards the next point, which is the analysis of a given system with the help of different test signals. Okay, so the very famous test signal that we have to see, that is a step input. Okay, now we have to see first the analysis of a first order system for a step input. What do you mean by step input? That we have seen earlier. Okay, now we have to see the analysis for the first order system for a step input. See, previously I think previously we have seen what do you mean by first order system, how to analyze or how to understand the basics behind this, that we have seen. How to define the order of a system, that also we have seen. You can see my previous lectures or previous slides, in that it is clearly given. Okay, so how to identify the first order system, how to identify the second order system, that we have seen earlier. Okay, now if you see here the first order system is given. So if you see the power of S is we can consider as a 1, so that's why it is first order. It is very easy to identify, and if the power becomes 2, it will be a second order system. So it is so simple. Okay, so let us see the analysis of a first order system for a step input. Now consider a first order system here, which is given like this. The input is RS here, output is CS, and the transfer function, that is a GS, is given by 1 upon TS. Okay, now if you see here, this is called as unity feedback. This also we have seen earlier. Okay, and the negative feedback is given here. Why it is unity feedback? Because in between this take-up point and the summing point, which is given as an input, there is no any feedback element present here. Okay, so the feedback element is not present, that's why it is called as a unity feedback system, and it is given by HS is equal to 1. So it is a unity feedback system, and the JS is equal to 1 upon TS, that is a transfer function that we have discussed earlier. Okay, now if you see it is a negative feedback here, and based upon this the calculations, we will get a final transfer function of the whole system is G divided by 1 plus GH. Okay, so CS by RS is equal to G upon 1 plus GH. Okay, now if you see here how to calculate this also we have seen earlier, but the important thing is that we have to give the analysis of this first order system for a step input. So right now we have to again put the values of a G here, because for the negative feedback we are getting a transfer function like this, G divided by 1 plus GH, and if I put the value of this transfer function G here, or this system function, we can say, and this is the whole transfer function, the system function, we can say the GS is equal to 1 upon TS. So if I put the value of G as a 1 upon TS and H is 1, we will get the equation like this. Numerator will be here 1 upon TS divided by 1 plus 1 upon TS. Okay, so if I multiply this denominators function, I will get T cross multiplication, I will get TS plus 1 divided by TS, and this below TS is multiplied by 1 upon TS, and again this gets cancelled, and we will get 1 upon 1 plus TS. Okay, so please simplify this. This is very simple. Directly I have written here. Again I will tell you how to multiply this. Multiply this 1 into TS plus the cross multiplication is 1 divided by TS will be there. So this function will be again TS divided by 1 plus TS will be there, and this TS gets cancelled, and we will get 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus TS. Okay, so you can do this multiplication. This is very simple mathematics. Okay, now CS by RS that we have got here 1 upon 1 plus TS. Okay, now what is the next thing? The next thing is that we have to do the analysis of a first order system for a step input. Okay, so for a step input, what is the equation here, rt is equal to ut for t is greater than 0. Okay, and for t is less than 0, it is a 0. So I think you know the step input that we have seen earlier. So what is the Laplace transform of a step input? So if you see the Laplace transform of a step input, it is given by rs is equal to L into RUT is equal to 1 upon S. Okay, so for your understanding, let us see again how to denote the step signal. So just wait here, I will show you step input. So here if you see a unit step input, so this is unit step input and it is a mathematical representation. So RT is equal to 1 upon UT, that is 1, and it is greater than it is 1 for greater than 0, t is equal to greater than 0, and for t is less than 0, it is 0. So this is your step input signal or unit step signal. The amplitude is 1 here, and the Laplace representation is L into ut is equal to 1 upon S. Okay, so if you see this unit step signal, this you have to apply as the input, and for this step input, unit step input, we have to see the behavior of that particular system. Okay, so let us see that. So I think we have seen up to this now. So this is a step input and the Laplace transform is 1 upon S. Okay, so what is the CS by RS now? That is Laplace transform of output divided by Laplace transform of input, that is given by 1 upon 1 plus TS. Okay, now we are interested in output, so that's why we have taken input to the right side, and the CS is a Laplace transform of output, which is equal to 1 upon 1 plus TS into RS. Now what is the Laplace transform of input? What is input? Basically input is the step input, and what is the Laplace transform of input? That is 1 upon S. Okay, so that's why keep one important thing is that we are not taking input, we are taking a LT or Laplace transform of input, and unit for a unit step the LT is 1 upon S. That's why we have to replace this RS with 1 upon S. That is a Laplace transform of a unit step, because we are talking till now we are talking about the Laplace transform only. So this is a Laplace transform of output, which is equal to 1 upon 1 plus TS into RS. Okay, now if you see here CS, that is CS is equal to 1 upon 1 plus TS into 1 upon S. Okay, now I think you have studied the partial fraction. Okay, I think you have studied the partial fraction, how to solve the equation using partial fraction method. Okay, so just take this as homework and just try to solve this, or otherwise after completion of this video lecture we will discuss more about this using partial fraction. But right now for understanding purpose, see only how I have written the values directly. After again I am repeating, after completion of this lecture, video lecture, we will discuss about this partial fraction method if you don't know about this. Okay, but I think you know about this, how to solve this partial fraction method. So just CS is equal to 1 upon 1 plus TS into 1 upon S. So CS will be using partial fraction method, A upon S will be there. So this is first coefficient plus second coefficient is B divided by S plus 1 upon T. Okay, so while by solving this partial fraction method with the help of partial fraction method, here I am getting A as a 1 and B as a -1 here. Okay, so again I am repeating, if you don't know about this partial fraction method, after completion of this lecture we will discuss about the solution using partial fraction. Don't worry about this, just see the values of A is equal to 1 we have got here. Similarly for B we have got the value as a -1. Okay, so A is 1 and B is -1. Let's put the value of 1 and -1 in this equation. Okay, so let us put that. So after putting the values here, I will get CS is equal to 1 upon S minus 1 upon S plus 1 upon T. Okay, so this is the CS that I have got here finally after calculating the values of A and B. Okay, so now see here, till now again we have discussed about the transfer function of output only. Now we have to take actually output. So for that again we have to convert this LT form into original form. So for that you have to take inverse Laplace transform. So if you take the inverse Laplace transform of CS, we'll get a CT as actual output in a time domain. Okay, so here CT is equal to inverse Laplace transform of CS, and that we will get here, and which is equal to this first terms Laplace inverse Laplace we have to take minus the second terms Laplace inverse that we have to take. Again you must know the basic inverse Laplace transforms, okay, because I think you have studied the Laplace transform in engineering, first year engineering, or I think you may have studied in 11th or 12th. Okay, but it is very simple. These are very simple. This is not much difficult mathematics. Okay, so if you see here the Laplace transform, inverse Laplace transform of a CS is a CT, that is denoted here. Inverse Laplace of 1 upon S is 1 because it is unit step, and unit steps inverse is 1 because LT of 1 is what? 1 upon S, that is unit step. Okay, so this is unit step, it is 1 upon S minus inverse Laplace transform of 1 upon S plus 1t is equal to E raised to 1 upon t into t here. So this is very important equation which we have got in a time domain. Okay, in a time domain we have got this equation because we have to put the values of t and we have to see the behavior of this system. Okay, now again keep one important thing is that we are doing the analysis of a first order system for a step input, and by doing this all Laplace transform and inverse Laplace transform, finally we have got the time domain equation like this. Ct is equal to 1 minus e upon e raised to minus 1 upon t into t. Okay, now actually we have to put the values of a t here and we have to find the behavior of our system, and by this it will be very clear to the picture will be very clear to you how the system behaves for the step input when it is a first order system. Okay, now let us see the next thing, that is analysis of a first order system for a step input with the help of a plot CT versus T. Okay, now here see it is a time domain output. Again I am repeating, we are not talking about LT domain, Laplace transform domain, we are talking about the time domain here because it is a CT. Now this CT with respect to T we have to see, and by putting the value of this T here. Okay, so this is a time domain equation. Ct we have to see with respect to t by putting the value of a capital T. Okay, again I am repeating, we have to see output of a system in a time domain with respect to small t by putting values of a capital T. That will give you the analysis of a first order system for a step input. Okay, so by putting the values of a t into this equation, see this plot first. We have taken t as a t, then we have taken a 2t, then 3t, then 4t, then 5t. After that we have taken a last value as infinity, and after that what the values that we will get here, that is represented by the Ct. Okay, now see if you put the value of t, a small t as a t here, so what will be the value? It will be a 0.632. Okay, so 0.632 will be the value. Now suppose if I put the value of t as a 2t here, what will happen? Okay, see for the actual analysis you can put your value of t as per your what we can say application or as per your consideration, but just to see the multiple of this t, for the multiple of this t what we are getting the values that we are discussing. Okay, if you replace this t with 2t in this equation, in this equation if you replace this t value with 2t, the value will be greater, that is 0.86. Similarly, if you put the value of this t with the 3t, it will be 0.9. See here how the output is increasing gradually. Okay, see here, from here we have started at a t is equal to 0, Ct is a 0, no doubt. Okay, but when we put the value of t as a t, then we are getting the some result as a 0.6, which is greater than half, we can say 0.5. Then after that If you put 2t, it is going near to the 1, but it is not actually 1, it is 0.8. But after 3t, it is going towards close to the 1. So for 3t, it is giving you a value as 0.9. Then for 4t, it is 0.98. And here, after increasing t much larger, its value is slowly going towards 1. Okay, and we can say that theoretically at t is equal to infinite, we will get the value as a 1, but we can't say that. Okay, because in between the t's value will be very large. Okay, so that's why this comes under the steady state response, and whatever we have seen up to this 2t, it can be called as a transient response. Okay, because generally steady state response is generally near to the desired value that you want. Okay, so here, see here carefully how the output is increasing gradually and going towards the desired value, that is a 1, and after 5t it is going to closer to the 1, but at infinite I can say that its value will be 1. Okay, so this is the simple analysis how the system output will be there for a step input. So for step input, it will be, the step input will be like this, but the system's behavior will be gradually increasing. It will not give a one output at t is equal to 0. That you have to keep in mind. Okay, so that's why the response, study of this transient response and steady state response becomes very important to study the behavior of a given system. So system will be different. Okay, no every first order system will be same because the components will be different, but the behavior will be somehow same, we can say. Okay, see here the time constant t that we have discussed earlier, the value of a ct is equal to 1 only at t is equal to infinity. Okay, so practically the value of a ct is within 5% of a final value at a t is equal to 3t, and within 2% at t is equal to 4t. Okay, that we have discussed earlier. In practice, that we have also discussed earlier, this also, that t is equal to 3t or 4t may be taken as a steady state, and before part we can state as a transient part. Okay, so how quickly the value reaches steady state is a function of the time constant of the system. So here time constant is playing a very crucial role because it is denoting how quickly the value reaches steady state, and that is very important part as far as the design of any control system is concerned. Okay, now we can say that if the t's value is smaller, the response will be very quick. Okay, so hence smaller t indicates the quick response. So that's why I have told you that t's value you can set as your requirement. Okay, so hence smaller t indicates the quicker response. Okay, so these are the important things we have discussed in this lecture. Okay, so we have discussed about the steady state response, step input response analysis of a first order system. Okay, so just you must know how the partial fraction is done. So after completion of this lecture, we will call a meeting, and in that meeting we will discuss about this, how the partial fraction is done here. Okay, but I think it is very basic part of mathematics, you must know that. Okay, because this much of a maths is needed in engineering, and you must know about this basic terms like basics of a Laplace transform, basics of inverse Laplace transforms, basics of a partial differential equations, partial fractional equations, you must know. Okay, so this is your part that you have to study. So after completion of this lecture, we will discuss this part, because most of the students may not be knowing about this. So we will discuss this part by calling the meeting. Okay, so we will stop here. So just attend the meeting after this lecture, and we will discuss more about this partial fraction. So I think some students may be knowing about this, that also we will discuss. Otherwise I will show you a calculation, how this calculation is done. Okay, so thank you very much. We will stop here, because after that we have to start about this analysis of a second order system for a step input also, and it will not be covered in this lecture because it is large part here, so that's why we have to see this in a next lecture. So before starting the next lecture, we will see some terms related to that, but for today's lecture we have to stop here. We will give a more focus on how partial fractions are solved. Okay, so thank you very much for this. Just attend the meeting after this lecture. Okay, thank you.